Welcome to Wealthy Wednesdays. Hello, hello, hello. What am I doing? Here we go, here we go, here we go. Hello. Oh my God, this lipstick looks horrible on me right now. Hello, welcome to Wealthy Wednesday. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Hello, 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 hello. As you guys are jumping on here, I'm going to go ahead and wait a minute. Hello, everybody. Did you guys hear me say my lipstick is all over the place? Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to Wealthy Wednesdays. Thank you for coming on here, Sandra. My God, Queen B604, Rivera Jenny Cruz. I'm Kelly Rodriguez. Who else just jumped on here? Let me see. Veronica, Jay Guzman, Miss Jersey Girl, Rochita16, all of you. Thank you. Hey, sister, how are you? Nava Anita. Dr. Sandra Gray, hello. All right, GB Peace from New Jersey, hello, hello. Angie, happy birthday. All right, let's get on here. I'm gonna go grab a napkin and take this red lipstick off right now. Morning, love, how are you? I'm gonna take it off because I'm so over this red lipstick by this time. Okay, all right, let's get you on here. Happy birthday to Angie. All right, let's get on here. Hi, Mr. Marley, you're so cute. All right. Great. Awesome. I meant to fix it, but I just got in, made a quick phone call, and jumped on Wealthy Wednesdays. All right. So, Monica Romo, how are you? Okay, all right. Beautiful. I love it. Monica Romo, by the way, on Facebook, you're considered a top fan. I absolutely love that. Thank you so much. Meal prep. All right, I love it. Craft with Gold Lash. Susie. Wonderful. Let's get started. Thank you guys for jumping on. Bites Pastries, my condolences to you and your family. I know you guys are going through a tough time right now, so my prayers and my condolences to you and your family, by the way. All right, let's get started. Look at my coffee mug. Or not even my coffee mug. This is my water cup. That's the first cup I saw. All right, welcome. Tatiana Galvan. Hello, Miss Gabs. All right, guys. Welcome to Wealthy Wednesdays. I am super excited. Again, I keep doing this because you guys know I've been suffering from heartburn. So I get to be patient with my body and let it just surrender. But anyways, for those that, if it's your first time, please post on here that it's your first time. For those that it's not your first time, please, I would love to know where you guys are tuning in from, what city you guys are tuning in from. Thank you for joining Wealthy Wednesdays. For those that actually don't know what Wealthy Wednesdays are. Oh, and if you're also watching this on the replay, we appreciate your attention. And for those that continuously come on board, which there's a good amount of you that keep coming back, I just want to tell you that I love you. Like, I don't know, I'm sure you guys already know this, but deep down, you guys know, I wish I could have a little something that says heart, 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 heart all the time. But I absolutely really do love you. And I just want you guys to know that. So, first time, awesome. Just keep posting on here. That's so awesome. All right, great. So, Wealthy Wednesdays. The goal behind Wealthy Wednesdays is to be able to create a community where we can look at things from a different perspective. And so the goal is to learn from one another, from different experiences. Some of the topics I come up with, some of the topics are topics that people want to talk about. And what better platform than the platforms that we already have, which are social media. Again, disclosure, I do keep things very, very general because I don't want you guys to be like, oh, well, Eva said, I didn't say anything until you come make an appointment with me, until it's specifically and customized for your needs, okay? So take the good. Whatever doesn't apply to you, then don't make it apply. So I just saw Cynthia, by the way. She's due any minute, so I'm praying for you. I was just thinking about you earlier. So I say this because Wealthy Wednesdays, the goal is to continue to bring value to you guys and looking at things from a different outlook, right? I am the owner of Eva Macias and Associates, Financial and Insurance Services. That's a mouthful, I get it. Been doing this, I've been in the industry for about 12 years now. And I've learned a lot. Some stuff that doesn't get taught in school, I've taught it myself. I've asked a lot of stupid questions. And so I've been able to work with city employees. I've been able to work with school teachers, or not school teachers, but school district employees. I've been able to work with the nonprofit sector. I've been able to work with the for-profit sector. So a lot of the knowledge that I have comes from the different information that I've been able to collectively put together. And so because of this, wanted to create a platform or a location or a hub of where I can share all of this stuff with. So that's what we do, and you are more than welcome to make appointments with us. And what happens is that I'm pregnant. For those that don't know, we're 34 weeks pregnant, and so we will be having a baby Camila very soon in 6 weeks. And so because of that, we're actually not seeing any more clients right now, I believe, until like after I come back from maternity leave. But we do have another associate that can definitely see you guys. Her name is Belia. It's actually a Ayuda en Español on here. So at the end of the day, if you guys want to meet with us, let us know. We can make it happen. So that's that. I'm also the author of A Latina's Guide to Money and a co-author of which you can buy on Amazon. And I'm the co-author of Dear Stress, I'm Breaking Up With You, just for you guys to know how involved I am in the passion I have for the industry and the knowledge to be, applied and out there and put out there. And I also am the founder and creator of a financial bootcamp that's a 5-week experience, and we are doing one virtually. It's our second virtual one, and this virtual one starts February 25th. I'll get into that a little bit more at the end. Thank you, by the way. But I will get into the topic of Wealthy Wednesday. And Katrina, thank you. Welcome. The topic that I want to talk about, and before we actually get to the topic, every single day I have been doing, and I just saw Katrina's jump on here, and a lot of you have. I know Miss Gabs, I know Ayuda en Español, I know a few other people still, Nancy. You guys have been tagging me on your cafecitos at home. So we've been using, you tag me, and the hashtag we're using is cafecito at home. And the reason why is because why not make your coffee at home, enjoy it, save money, not pay $6. I just had a client text message me and said, hey, I went to Starbucks, that's where she went. And she's like, I spent $6.55 for 1 cup of coffee. She goes, that's crazy. I said, I know. Imagine doing that 5 days a week. That's a lot of money for coffee, where you can brew it in yourself and never mess up your name, all that good stuff. So if you can get a chance to tag me every single day in the morning, please do so. And the goal behind that, hey Kelly, the goal behind that is to be able to inspire other people. Some people have never made coffee at home, okay? Some people don't drink coffee, drink tea, whatever it is, but use the hashtag cafecito at home. So the reason why I started that is because for me, I want you to start getting into the mind space of saving already, like enjoying that cup of coffee, not rushing out of your house, trying to get to the Starbucks line or McDonald's or I don't know, wherever you guys buy coffee. And just understand that first step in you waking up is already you telling yourself that you have ownership and the power to say no to going to go shop for something and consume something when you can consume it at home, right? Because at the end of the day, everything that you create is all a mind space. So I just wanted to throw that out there. I know Katrina said, I went and bought the Starbucks brand and it was way cheaper to brew at home. And I know one of her goals is to brew coffee 5 days a week. So, or 5 days this week, which is 5 times this week, I should say. So I'm assuming Monday through Friday. So I can't wait to see that you actually accomplished that and how much money you could have saved, or you did save from doing this. So just wanted to put that out there. But our topic today is max out your 401k. So who here in this audience has a 401k? Put on here. Now, if you do not have a 401k and you have some of the following: a 457, a 403b, a 401a, deferred compensation. If you have any of these things, put the letters of what applies to you. So for example, Craft with or Cynthia, Craft with Gold Lash. Yes, I do. So yes, you do what? You do have a 401k. So for those that are putting yes, for those that are putting I have two, for those that are putting match, all that good stuff, tell me if you have a 401k. Okay, put it on there. The reason why that's important is because most people, what happens is you go into your open enrollment, right? And if this sounds like your open enrollment for some of your companies, this is what it sounds like, and not for everybody, right? But for some of your companies, what ends up happening is you go to open enrollment, you enroll, and then you fill out a sheet, right? Depending on your risk factor, moderate, aggressive, or low. And when you see yourself retiring based on your age, and then based on those calculations, then it's already been kind of like a pre-populated account that then your money goes into. Most people don't know if they're matching, if so, how much they should actually really be contributing. They actually don't even know when they're going to retire. They just know they're just putting money into this account because it's good, because one, my parents have told me that it's good, because everybody that works here has one, but that's it. Like there's no other, because, oh, people save money and you make a lot of money in the market, right? All of these different conversations. But we never really know how that will apply to us. So today, oh my God, I love all this conversation, by the way. As much as I'm not trying to get distracted, I'm totally loving that you guys have this, because let me tell you something. Why I'm so passionate about educating and providing financial literacy is because my parents didn't have the opportunity of having this information, of them not feeling maybe overwhelmed. And I can't speak for them because I don't know how they felt, but I can tell you, as a woman who knows how to read Spanish, who who I consider myself a very smart person, and yet I had no idea what a 401k really did. And I didn't even know how it operated. I didn't know any of that, right? So the reason why I say that is because of 401k, 403b, 457, any of those numbers, I was like, I don't even know what. So sometimes when you guys come into my office and you sound maybe a little confused, I can immediately relate to you because I know the feeling of how I used to feel. But then I educated myself, and then I started asking more questions. And along the way, I learned a lot of different tools and techniques that will help people maximize all of their, really, the reason why you're doing this is because this is how you save for your future self. The interesting part of things is, let's just put it like this. If you don't save right now, in the future, obviously you won't have money. And it sounds really logical, but if you're not maximizing how much you can contribute, then you're not going to have in the future, okay? If it's hard for you to do it now, imagine 20, 25, 30 years later, how much harder it's going to be with the cost of goods going up, inflation, with maybe your family growing, with maybe other financial responsibilities, maybe your health isn't the greatest. So, can you angle the camera? What does it say? Can you angle your camera? Your face is covered with comments. Oh, there. Okay. So, again, the value of that is very important. Now, not only the value of you putting into, let's consider this a basket. Not only the value of you putting it into this bucket. Let's just talk about a bucket. The value of you putting this into the bucket, but understanding what size is your bucket. Is that the appropriate bucket for what you want? Does your bucket have a leak? Right? Imagine a bucket, you're trying to fill it up with water. Water means your money. You're filling it, and there's a little hole in the bottom, and it just keeps dripping and dripping and dripping and dripping. How do you know that your plan doesn't have that? How do you know that your 401k, your 403b, your 457 bucket doesn't have that? How do you know what type of bucket is in? How do you know what this bucket really consists of? Most people don't. They go very blindly going into this. And unfortunately, sometimes because you do have representatives in your office or in your business, what happens is that's one individual for maybe a few hundred. Yes, great. Thank you so much, Ayuda en Español. How old is your bucket? There's so many other questions that can come from that. And so there's one representative within your organization, wherever you work, right, that comes every so often, usually around open enrollment. And some of them may be a little bit more consistent, but some of them you actually don't even see. And it's really unfortunate to say that because you don't see them, and then they're not really, you're like, oh, I have an advisor. Oh, I have someone. Oh, I have that. And then you never look at the opportunity of what really do I have? I know a previous appointments that I've had today, they've had previous 401ks with previous employers. They've rolled it into the current employer. Current employer is not matching. There's no huge benefit for them. Like, there's so many other components. Like, I can teach a whole class about this, right? I gotta keep it general because, again, all right? But understand that the value of your 401k you're not going to see today. You're going to see when you're 65 plus years of age. The perfect example of how you can see yourself is how are you either the perfect reflection of your parents or you're not. So for me, I was a perfect reflection of my parents because of the fact that I didn't have anything, nothing saved up. And I was headed in that same direction. Now, mind you, they came to this country to better our lifestyle, our everything. So I'm saying, wait a minute, just because they didn't know this information, that doesn't mean that I can't ask. And so when I talk about let's maximize your 401k, we're in February. We're in the month of love. We're actually in the month of heart space. So everything is, love. And actually, it's also the American Heart Association, I believe, where you wear red the first Wednesday, I think, of the month. And it was to create like heart awareness for the American Heart Association, I believe. So when I think of that immediately, I don't think of Valentine's Day, to be quite frank with you. What I think of is if we're talking about love and relationships and appreciation, my question to you is the way you can show yourself that self-love is by taking care of you and paying yourself first. And what paying yourself first means, it means different things for different people. For me, what it means is making sure you put money away for yourself in the future and making sure you stay within your boundaries that you created. And the reason why I say you created these boundaries is because budgets for some people may seem to be like, oh, there's too many boundaries. Remember, the reason why these boundaries are set is for you to have everything you want to accomplish. And that boundary is created based on the income you're earning. And so because of that, it is so, so important that wisdom, right? Wisdom is being able to learn from other people's mistakes. So, and maybe not mistakes, but experiences. So if you can look at the 5 people closest to you, and you take a look at the oldest people closest to you, the five people closest to you that are in retirement, maybe your mom, your dad, maybe an older sibling, maybe a tío, maybe a tía, right? And you look at how they retired, and you ask yourself, are they living a life that's pretty awesome, or are they struggling paycheck to paycheck? And even though maybe you grew up around that environment, that does not have to be your environment. You're one choice away from saying, moving forward from this day on, I will not end up like them because they were the perfect example to me and they were the perfect reflection of self-love. They didn't know and they're willing to live within their means, right? And so because of that, what I know is that I get to maximize my retirement account. You will not be upset at yourself. I promise you, you will not. You will not be upset at yourself if you put money away for you. And it was really interesting because there's certain like guidelines within the retirement sector. And when you can technically start accessing your funds at about 59.5 for some, okay, fine print, not all of them, so don't go like, oh my God, you got to come to my office, I'll give you a little bit more of a breakdown. But if you're, let's just say 30 years old, let's just say you're 40. I know we don't like the government to tell us, we don't like the IRS to put rules, but think about this. If you're 40 years of age and you can't touch your money until, let's just say you're 60, because that's now a regulation, right? IRS regulation. You will live by those rules because someone set the standard of that. Whereas of most people, they don't set the standard for themselves. I share with people, okay, you got to leave your money here for a minimum of a certain amount of time. Whatever the case may be. people are like, what do you mean I have to leave my money there for 5 years, 3 years, 10 years? What do you mean? I'm like, this is for retirement. None of this money should be operating. You should not count on any of this money until you are of retirement age. Okay? Also, I ask people, when do you want to retire? Oh, when I'm 50. Immediately, as soon as they say that, I'm like, one, you're probably a little disconnected to what you really have. So I always like to remind them, I'm like, look, in a perfect world, the one way you will retire at 50 is if you take and you make those sacrifices and you invest in multiple streams of income. And so what does that look like? For some people, multiple streams of income may be different than for somebody else. For some people, it might be all real estate. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, do they have risks in that? Yes. For some people, it might be that it's only pension plans. Okay? For some people, it might be different sources of income. So the reason why I wanted to talk about this subject is in the month of February, my goal for you guys is for you guys to think a little bit more about who you will be when you are of retirement age. Will you be an older, living paycheck to paycheck 60-year-old, 65-year-old? Or will you be a 60, 65-year-old retiree that's traveling the world, that's living an abundant life, that's probably giving to their grandkids, that's volunteering their time, that's living in the abundance mindset? When you put money away, you don't take away from yourself. You don't, okay? And there's a balance of putting everything away versus putting everything away, or I got distracted because I see all these comments and I get so excited, or being able to say, how can I live within my means and still be able to take care of me and my family now and be able to take care of myself in the future? Because even though you may be married or you have a spouse, maybe you have children, you can't depend on that. And the reason why I say that is because, not because I'm like, oh my God, I'm independent. No. Because you don't know, what if your spouse dies? Look, we learned from Kobe, and I get it. Kobe had a lot of money, right? We don't know their financials. We don't know if the guy was broke. Like, we don't know any of that. But maybe you guys had to use your financial resources because somebody was really ill in your family, you don't know what life will throw your way. Also, if you're a parent, I don't know if you're a Latin parent, but you also cannot depend on your children taking care of you. I don't put that stress upon our daughter, because even though I know she chose us as parents, because she did, and I chose her as our daughter, and Remo chose her as her daughter, him as their daughter, it would be unfair to give that responsibility to someone who is also trying to figure it out in life. And so, by the way, she keeps moving as I'm talking. So I highly encourage you to, one, get your most recent 401k statement, 403b statement, 457, 401a. Get your most recent statement. If you want to come into my office, it will be a free consultation. It will be a review. If you're currently with your employer, I'm going to most likely, if you're putting in 2%, 3%, 4%, my goal for you would be that at one point you try to do the maximum you can potentially do. 10%, 15%, okay? Just because people have debt doesn't mean that they get to live in debt. They get to continue to give more to themselves. Because remember, the sooner you put that money away, the sooner you will have time to make the decision whether you will retire at 65, 67. If you're in your 30s or 40, you're most likely going to retire at 67, if not even further. Okay, we're extending, we're living longer, so those things may change. Social Security, maybe your full retirement age will be based on the younger generations to work longer because they get to contribute more into it, right? And so because of that, it's important that we immediately start thinking, how can I start putting money away? Now, if you're also self-employed and you don't have an employer that does this, that's not an excuse for you not to save money. There's other ways that we can do that. And the thing is, you be willing to do so, right? Because you don't want to continue to work and work and work and work and never save enough money for you to at least have something to show for. So my goal is that I have you start thinking about the 5 people that are retired, or the older people, like older meaning after 60, and what does that look like? Because they always say that you're actually the average of the 5 people you hang out with. So if your friends are broke, you all are probably broke. If your friends are not broke, you guys are probably doing something right. And the goal is to continue to, if one of you has information that can benefit the other, that you share it along. And that's living in the abundance mindset. And so for that reason, I highly encourage that you do your best in maximizing your 401ks. For some employers, they allow you to do a pre-tax or a post-tax. What does that even mean? That for some people, it's like, oh my God. One of them means you haven't paid taxes and you'll pay taxes in the future. You're deferring your taxes. So when you're older, you take money out. You take the money and then that's when you get taxed. And the other component of it is a Roth. And the Roth would be that you've already paid taxes on it. Some employers allow you to do both. Some employers don't. Every employer is different. So this is why this information gets to be so general, because not every employer works the same. That's why when I ask you, which, obviously for privacy reasons, I can't acknowledge this young woman, the last appointment that I just took in my office, she showed up so prepared. Actually, the last few appointments that I took in my office, showed up so prepared. I have to acknowledge her, and you know who you are if you're on here. She came prepared. When you set up an appointment, we actually tell you what to bring. There's no surprise. We even give you the address of where to show up. We tell you if you show up after hours, go to the back instead. Like, we're very specific, right? I want to make it as easy as possible for you. She came, and everything I asked for, she subdivided that with a color paper, clipped it, showed up super prepared. That makes my job so much easier. It makes me ask all the questions. Everything is there. Some people will come in and they don't know. They don't know. Then my answer is going to be, I don't know until you bring this. So my time is super valuable right now. I mean, I've had people that have been upset because I can't see them. They're like, what do you mean you can't see me? I'm like, I'm booked literally back to back. I see about 6 clients a day, and my assistant could definitely tell you that. So why? Because this is what happens if it's tax season, people usually wait at the end of the month. I would love to tell you that every single day I wake up feeling super fantastic. I don't. There are days where I'm fantastic, and then halfway through the day I'm like, oh my God, I'm so exhausted. But I still have to keep going, right? And I do. And then it's not even just that. It's the more prepared you are, the quicker I can get right to the source of what needs to be done. And so even if you don't know how or where to get this, I'm going to tell you where to start. Go to your employer, contact your HR department, and say, I need to get my last statement. Then for most of you, you should be able to go online and print out your most recent statement. You're more than welcome to make an appointment. Send it over to me. We'll review it, things like that. Now, some people I'll be able to help, and some people I won't be able to help. I'll just probably share with you what you may need to want to do, okay? So my goal for today's Wealthy Wednesday is that you start contributing more money away into your retirement and less into your debt. So take that away. Also, ask your employer how much they match. Don't just be okay with, oh yeah, they match. What does that mean? Some people will say, we'll match you 50% of up to 4%. Think about that. We will match you 50% up to the 6% or 4%. They're only matching you 2 to 3%. Right? So some employers don't even match. They just offer you the salary slot of being able to take the money out. So my goal is that you put in as much as you possibly can, but also balance your finances or your budget with a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of pre-tax, before taxes, after taxes, a little bit of liquid money, a little bit of retirement money, a little bit of everything. Why? Because you just never know what that's going to look like. So to be specific, I know somebody said, what percentage should I contribute of my salary? So it just depends. Some people are able to do up to 10%, 15%, but some people will go ahead and do 3%, 5%. It all depends on where you are, because that's great that you're putting all this money away in retirement, but if you can't pay your bills, turn on your lights, have dinner on the, pay your responsibilities, and that doesn't add up either. So I would say that if you can definitely get the opportunity to come and connect with us, it would be fantastic. We'd love to have you. We'd love to be able to help you. If you know of anybody, I don't know if you guys knew that Macy's is going to be doing a lot of layoffs, or not just Macy's, but I know the school district, when I started early on, was pink slipping a bunch of people. If you happen to know of anybody who's had an old 401k just sitting out there somewhere, not knowing what's going on, that they immediately contact me. And the reason why is because sometimes when we think, oh, well, it's taken care of, there's usually a leak in their bucket, and they could be losing money. They could have made all this money. Or maybe that plan no longer serves them. Or how do they know that that specific company is good for them? So again, Speed Tech just said, I have, and she's amazing. Thank you, highly recommended. And remember, I don't work with everybody. I wish I did, but we have some people I'm able to help and some people I'm not. And some people, the reason why I'm not able to help, it's not because I don't want to. It's because right now, really quickly before I get sidetracked, if you have an old 401k or an old retirement account, just DM me saying I have an old 401k and just tell me what company it's with, and then we can chat about it. So I actually don't forget. So if you can do that, that would be fantastic. It's because some people are actually not committed. They say they want it, but their actions reflect otherwise. If you say you want to get out of debt and you keep charging on your credit cards, that's not happening. If you say, oh, I want to put as much as I possibly can in my retirement, or I definitely want to get this thing, and then there's a plan for you to put in money and you don't, then you're not committed. Because I've noticed, and this is one thing that was said to me, and I actually think this was, when I heard the example, it was about marriage. They said, you don't get married and then get committed. You get committed and then you get married. So in this case, it's the same thing. You don't open up the retirement accounts, or you don't open up these, you don't have this financial plan after you decided. Like, you got to commit that you're ready to take the action necessary to level yourself up to the next level. When I think of level up, let me tell you something. I don't think about, oh my God, millionaire driving a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, living in Hollywood Hills. I don't think of that. Leveling up for some people might just be that they're actually finally maximizing their contributions, that they finally got into that house that they wanted, that they finally committed to paying off their credit card debt, that they finally decided to say, I'm going to cook at home, that I love to eat out, guys. I do eat out. Trust me, I do. But I also cook. Okay, I may not be the best cook, but I cook. And coffee, I love my chai teas, love them, but I make them at home. Okay, so again, these are simple sacrifices, and they're quite not sacrifices, guys, but they're simple things that we can do to be able to live even more abundant. I think personally, and this is my personal opinion, you can say yay, no, we're too spoiled. We have it way too easy. Even though 2008 happened, for some people that really impacted their lives and they made a difference. For your parents, if you have grandparents or parents, and the reason why they've been so good with it is because they didn't have it. For us now, in this day and age, we have so much, from food, deliveries, everything's a click of a button away. Everything is so convenient for us that we've thought or have believed that has actually been the quality of life all the time. And so we don't think that at one point we could have nothing. And so I think we're just too spoiled. I think we're just too lazy. And I think we're not committed enough to say, you know what? I got to really look within. Like, what do I need to do to make me a better human being today so that I can have more and my family can have more? And so I invite you to understand that. And please don't take offense. I'm not calling you lazy, and I'm not telling you that you're spoiled. I'm telling you that's what I saw in myself. And then I realized that I needed to change. That not that I needed to change, that I actually wanted to, because that was not going to work for me. it wasn't working at that time. So I needed to become a different human being to create a different result. If I look at the woman that I am right now in this moment, to the woman that I was a year ago, to a woman that I was 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, completely different. And to the woman that I'm going to be in like 2 months. So again, this is important for me to communicate with you, because maybe nobody's ever given you the message. Maybe nobody's ever told you about it. Maybe you don't even know where to go. Maybe your employer just sucks. Maybe you're like, I didn't get this information in my college education or high school. Who gives a you know what? Come, you're getting this information now, right? And again, please, please, please forgive me. I have to keep it general, because if I keep it specific, or I'm very specific, you might take the wrong information and do something really crazy, because people do crazy things. And so my goal is that you guys come connect with us. Come chat with us. Let's see where you're at. I promise you, I'm gonna do my best to leave you better than I found you. And that's my commitment to you. I will show you a way that I can leave you better than I found you. And along the way, if you like it, then you work with us. And if you don't, then you just don't. And I'm going to send you off with lots of blessings and wish nothing but best things upon you in your life. So again, I love you, Annabelle. She goes, you are the real MVP. I love it. Talking about MVP, right? Kobe didn't become great because he was lazy. Kobe became Kobe because he was committed. And we all cried for him, whether you were a fan or not. And my question again, from when I did the Leaving a Legacy, is in order to be legendary in your life, it's not just a beautiful post on social media. It's what do you need to do to become legendary each and every day? And your everyday actions is what makes you legendary. Your everyday actions. Again, it's not, oh my God, I have $500,000, $1 million in the bank. That's what makes me legendary. It's the fact that day in and day out, you were making the choices that you needed to, and you were committed to that got you to become legendary. And so I know, I'm telling you, these emotions, I'll probably cry. I know all of you have what it takes to be legendary in your own version of it. Not in the Eva version, not in any of that crap, not in the Kobe version, but in the version of you. You just need to know maybe a path, a little guidance, a little kick in the ass, a little, yes, you got this, so that you can be able to be legendary in your household to create the results that you want to create. At the end of the day, who this is going to impact the most is you. Some of you can watch this Wealthy Wednesday, love it, not love it. Some of you can be like, my God, she didn't brush her hair right, I don't like her, whatever. And that's fine too. However, I would rather you not like me because I said something that would change your life than for you to like me, for you to continue to live in a mediocre place each and every day. And let me tell you, everything I say and do comes from the heart. So I know that as long as I do it and I know it's from here, it will land there. And when it lands here, it will convince this to do what you need to do so you end up with more money. It's just the woo-woo of money that you can't put into black and white. It's when this gets impacted and gets hit in a way that makes sense, or that knows that you're loved and you're appreciated, and then this will convince this, because usually it's this convincing the pocket. None of that crap anymore. It is now this gets you, guides you, call it your intuition, call it your gut, whatever. Your gut, your heart, especially you women, we all have it. Our intuition, right, tells us what our next steps are going to be. Our intuition tells us why we should do something, whether we shouldn't. Our intuition tells us what our next step needs to look like. From here, it goes into the passion, into all of us, men or women, I don't care where you are, you want to be loved, you want to be appreciated, bottom line. So when we learn to operate from here, we will convince this part of our brain to say, I'm worthy, I matter, yes I can, it's scary, but I'm still going to do it. And then from there, it will reflect in the results. And the results will be the income you put away. Most people focus on the income. I don't care. This will just follow once this and this becomes in alignment and committed to the fact that you actually matter. And then everything else will just start trickling effect. I matter every day in the morning. I want to have my cup of coffee in the morning, and this brings this to me. Peace of mind, whatever feelings I get, this makes me happy here, which will then get me into the right mind space, which will then create abundance for not only myself, but my clients and my family. And because of that is how we ultimately can give and pay it forward. So again, I love all your comments and I wish I could read them all. Living in a rat race is not what God wants for us, and it's not what we want for ourselves. So we get to get out of that. We get to get out of it. That's not why we were created to. We weren't created to live paycheck by paycheck. We weren't, and we were created for a lot more. And even though we get into the rat race of that, that's not your true. You weren't born with that. You were born to be conditioned. So now you can recondition your brain to operate from a different mental space. You just have to recondition yourself. That's all. So again, I love you guys. Thank you for joining Wealthy Wednesdays. Again, it's always a different topic, and there's times that I get extra passionate. Again, please message me if you do happen to have an old 401k. Please message me, 403B, 401A, 457, message me. Also, if you want to find out more details about the financial bootcamp, we will be having a virtual financial bootcamp starting February 25th. You can go onto my website, purchase your stuff there. If you don't know an alumni, I highly recommend you connect with an alumni. So if we have any alumni in the house, which I know we do, put on here that you're an alumni so you guys can get a promo code, so you guys can get a discounted price. You get $350 off. Okay? Yes, $350 off of the bootcamp. You do it in the comfort of your own home, of your own office, on your cell phone, on your laptop. Still show up prepared. It's going to be live, so it'll be starting February 25th. We will close enrollment. I think it's a Thursday before that Tuesday, and it's virtual. So some of you guys have been wanting it virtual. We decided to go virtual, and see, Speed Tech, Ayuda en Español. I know we have just Ms. Gabs. We have a bunch of people on here that are alumni. I highly recommend you take it because most people will start looking at, and then Morning Love right here. Look at your finances from a different standpoint. We've had a lot of testimonials. I've had a woman who said, Eva, I met with her, said I was going to pay off my debt in about whatever, a year and a half, paid off her debt in 8 months. Another one, I bought a house. Another one is all this amazing stuff that I want for all of you. So how long is the boot camp? The boot camp is 5 weeks, every Tuesday, starting February 25th from 6:30 to 8:30. And so I would recommend that you do take it that you be positioned, stationed, so you can take notes. But again, it's all totally worth it. It's 5 weeks starting effective February 25th. You want more details, just go on my website, evamacias.com, click on Financial Bootcamp, where our model is you're worthy of having it all. And my goal is to continue to cheer you on and show you the way to be able to have more. And especially if you're a woman, especially if you're a Latina woman, I'm going to continue to like. And if you're not, of course, we welcome you and we appreciate you and we love you too. Men, women, all that good stuff, okay? But especially as Latina women, because I think a lot of our culture doesn't condition us to believe that we're going to win, that we're a hard worker, but then that's it. All we do is work. And so the goal here for me is to help you understand that you're worthy of a lot more than just work. So again, can someone connect with me? I would love to sign up. This is Grisel C. Fuentes. Again, please connect with an alumni to get that discount code. I try to bring it up at every Wealthy Wednesday because, we used to have a 30 people capacity, and now it's open to as many people. My goal is that it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, because then that means we're making a difference in hundreds of lives. And we will continue to give that paying it forward to other people that really are dying and praying for someone to help them out. So again, I appreciate all of you. Ayuda en Español, if you could maybe connect with Grisel C. Fuentes, that'd be fantastic. I appreciate you guys. If you guys found this information useful, message me, send me a yes, this was great. And again, blessings to all of you. Thank you for always, always, always. No, the class will not be on Facebook Live. The class is actually on a Zoom call. It sends a link once you register. So with an open heart, open arms, a happy heart, and actually two happy hearts because there's two of us in here, right? We send you nothing but blessings, and I hope that you guys moving forward set your alarm for every Wednesday at 7 o'clock because we are so excited every Wednesday to come up with new topics, to discuss them, to look at things a little bit differently, or even to start engaging in that conversation up here. All right? So I love you guys. Happy Wealthy Wednesdays and have a fantastic Wealthy Wednesday. Bye.